I want to talk a little bit about racism. I'm 80 and beyond anything that I can do, but we have to find solutions. And clearly, leaving it to parents is not a solution. The more I think about it, the more I recognize that it's education. We have to have government mandates, education in the schools, to educate about all colors and all religions and all races without creating prejudices. And we have to separate the maniacs like the fascism, Trumpism, Hitlerism from the Taliban and terrorism and the evil genocide that the Turks did to the Romanians. And that has to be part of the education, the truth. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Facebook threatened me, and I won't share this on Facebook, because they threatened me for bringing up the racism in Canada against our native Indians. They now call themselves Aborigines, and I can't even spell that word. So forgive me. To me, they are native to this land, and we're here for tens of thousands of years, and that's the words I use. And what we did to the children was horrendous. And what we're doing now to many of the reservations, some of them have casinos and gambling and they've gone the white man's way and they're actually making money. But they're very few. I left a wonderful job in New York because I said I will not participate in racism. And I was called on the carpet for being polite to a young black man in the mailroom, and I quit the job the same day. And I used some four-letter words that start with the letter F. And I have lived my life that way, and I have fought for rights for anybody. I will boycott evil people, and I will embrace and try to cultivate good people in my life, whether it's on social media or internationally. But doing what I did didn't make any real change in society. And I see now that I would have needed to be more politically active in demanding the truth in our education. And you know, I was 7 years old and I did that at the Sudbury Catholic School, St. Joseph's School, in 1948. I got the strap for saying Jesus Christ was Jewish. And Jesus Christ is Jewish. And he followed a Jewish diet. And he lived a Jewish lifestyle. At some point, he may have broken free from any of the constraints, but he would have been married at the age of 12, whether he liked it or not. But what I said was Jesus Christ is Jewish. So why are we praying for the salvation of the Jews when Jesus Christ was Jewish? That was the one incident in my life that my father went to bat for me, because truth was, he was racist against the Catholics, and it served his purpose to fight. So he contacted the bishop, and he threatened a lawsuit, and he threatened media, and blah, 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 blah. And my father had the money. He could do it. So they backed down. The bishop from North Bay came, and there was a great big, all the Catholic diocese was brought to the Sudbury, Ontario arena. I got a public apology, and there are people alive today who still remember that Trudy did that in 1948. Because I demanded that the truth be in history. And I can assure you, they never said another word against the Jews again while I was in school. Now, if I had carried that, and if everyone had carried that around the world into the school system and into education, it doesn't matter if your parents are bigots, because my father was a racist. But because I read history and I knew my history, I fought my father's racism, and I never tolerated racism in my life. And I just want to put that out there, that if you want to stop the racism and the violence in the United States against the blacks, the mistreatment of the Muslims, the mistreatment of women in the Muslim states, we have to be allowed to voice the truth. But more importantly, government, you have to fight for government to educate and have the truth in history in the school system, so that the child will be able, like I was, to recognize my father was wrong, the nuns were wrong, the priests were wrong, and the bishop was wrong. And I never tolerated any kind of racism in my life. But I didn't go far enough, because I didn't understand to the degree the unbelievable violence of men towards women. I was raped at 16, and again, many times thereafter. I was the victim of horrendous fraud. No one ever faced a charge. And that's kind of a form of racism against women. So it's rampant. And Facebook, well, Mr. Zuckerman, I don't think that stopping us from communicating with each other in the comments and talking about our truth is right. The minute I see a lie, the minute I see anything fake, I block them and I report them. But to block me and say that I'm inciting hate, no. I'm fighting for the truth. Now, I have no real voice. Nobody's going to listen to me. I'm just nobody. But maybe someday somebody's going to figure it out. You have to get government to mandate education and tell the truth in the schools, which they're not doing right now. Nowhere on the planet. "2022 is not looking great for me and for too many people. And that's okay. I've lived my life, and I never back down from what was right. And I hope you will do the same. Bless you. Good night.